Is that what they call them?
The IRL streamers?
Yeah, man. I fucking hate them, man.
Yeah, why's that?
And see, it's the thing about these new streamers chasing clout. Personally, I mean, I don't think there's nothing wrong with chasing clout as long as you have talent, right? Because the difference between the older generation and now these kids is, you know, people used to get famous based on their talents, right? For example, remember how people used to be, oh, she sings like Whitney Houston. Oh, he can rap like Biggie and Pac. Or he can dance like MC Hammer. Or that comedian, he's talking some real So it's like everybody, I mean, not much of a fan of actors, but, you know, they're actors, great acting. And people get famous based on that, right?
I don't believe that anymore. Lately, no, I don't.
Yeah,
I used to think that. I used to think, oh, the people at the top, they're the best at what they do. I absolutely do not believe that anymore. I think your talent gets you to a certain point.
Yeah. Then
there are forces that decide how big you get, and we've seen people got huge and they're trash. So it's just it's clearly abundant at this point in 2024. If anybody believes that,
I'm talking about back in the days. Back in the day.
Well, I think back in the days it was the same thing. We just weren't aware. That's what I think.
Could be that too.
I'm leaning towards that. I don't think humans have changed.
Man,
that much.
Like, let's keep that story for another episode, because when we talk about the industry stuff, it's full of those things, right? But see, now we have these kids who grew up watching Jake Paul, Logan Paul type videos. You know, no substance, no talent, just rage baits, right? All they do is just go to places, start because they don't have anything else to offer or talent.
Right.
All they do is just piss off people, right?
Well, some would argue that's their talent, you know.
Maybe that's what it is these days, huh?
Yeah.
So to these kids, you know, fame equals hate towards them. I don't know how kids think like that these days, but it's really
attention.
weird. Yeah, it's attention. But see, even that Johnny Somali dude, you know, his whole demeanor, I get it. He tried to be the Golden Goblin, right? So people just hunt him down and, you know, just beat him up, and they get, I don't know, whatever. Views on YouTube or something like that. But
I don't know if that was his goal to become the Golden Goblin.
I'm pretty sure that's his goal, man. This his whole demeanor, the way he talks, he think he's some kind of main character in these videos. And I don't know, maybe he's on some like wannabe celebrity type, where it's like all these troubles and dramas chasing me, all these things just happening to me. When in reality, he's the one who's, I mean, starting all this bullshit, right? You know, the country.
What, do you think he's not aware of that?
I think he is aware of that stuff. But
and do you think he doesn't think he's gonna get his ass whooped?
I think so. I mean, this dude.
You think he thinks he can get away with all this stuff?
Yeah,
like, I mean,
100%, man.
Well, then he's not a very intelligent person.
Well, I mean,
again, it doesn't take a lot of imagination to realize that doing this type of stuff will get you where he is right now. But
again,
I mean,
man, that's the whole idea of being the Golden Goblin, right? It's Goblin is a character in this game. I mean, he looks like him too. He looks like that Goblin dude too. He this Goblin. He steals it around. Has this Santa Claus looking bag, and he just runs around just annoying people. And people are just like, let's get this mother.
Right.
And they beat that Goblin dude up, and he drops all these items. I guess in this generation, that's clout for all the YouTubers too.
All right, so we'll do a little quick run through so people know who Johnny Somali is. Some people call him Johnny Salami, but he's an American live streamer. He's from Phoenix, Arizona. He says he's of Somali descent, but I don't know. I was looking and people are even disputing that, so who knows? And these days, whatever, people say whatever. But he was a Twitch streamer, then he got banned. for doing the type of things that we're going to tell you about. Then he moved to Kick. Eventually, he was also kicked off of Kick, and he's on Rumble currently, streaming in Asia. I guess the highlights, he's been banned from Twitch, Kick, and YouTube. He lost his YouTube channel too. Yeah. He's been slap punched, choked. You'll find out why.
Jump kicked.
Yeah, I mean, crazy. And this behavior is, he's carried it throughout different countries. He's went to Japan, which is one of the reasons why we thought we should talk about this, because he's a prime example of how you don't want to behave as a Westerner in Japan or anywhere else, because he went to Israel, did the same thing there.
Here.
And then, I feel like depending on the country, you can get away with certain things more than others. And, if he tried that stuff here, I don't know how well it would go for him. I think just incidental characters in the background would put a stop to his shenanigans pretty quickly.
Yep.
Compared to other places where people are more, I guess, nice, understanding, and non-confrontational.
Right.
And he's currently in South Korea, where this reign of shenanigans and stupidity seems to have hit a serious wall.
Yeah.
Where he's not being allowed to leave the country. So we're going to talk about this guy, Johnny Somali, who apparently, as a streamer, he got himself in a position where he might do between 12 to 29 years in prison in a foreign country. It's pretty ridiculous.
Yeah, man. Some say it's 10, some say it's 5, some say it's 16, some say it's 29. But
right,
who knows, man?
And they're for different things too. So different things he's been, I don't know if he's been accused of, I don't know if he's found guilty of yet, have different number of years.
Yeah.
So
no, go. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Most recently, he did, his online trolling, and he did an AI video of him kissing another streamer. I think her name was Bong Bong or something.
Bong Bong.
And those videos where they'll have like two photos of people and then like they'll kiss. It's the AI stuff.
Yeah.
Where they're like going through each other's faces and that type of stuff. He did a couple videos of him with another streamer that obviously quite apparently doesn't like him at all. And she pressed charges. But apparently there's a new bill where these AI videos that are without the person's consent and whatever, you can get up to 7 years in jail for that.
Yeah, especially in Korea.
So
it's been like, like these celebrities, all these nude pictures, been photoshopped for years in Korea and Japan, in Asian countries.
Right.
So now finally with AI, people like, okay, can't do this. And I mean, it used to be illegal anyways, but now with AI, because it moves, so people are like, okay, that's what, like 5 extra years or something like that.
Right. Well, I mean, AI at some point, it's very clear already that at some point you won't be able to distinguish it from reality. It's getting, better a lot quicker. So at that point, you can incriminate people for things that they haven't done, or, you can do whatever you want. So that's definitely, I believe that's going to be something that's going to play into a lot of stuff.
Right.
In our future. Not just this type of shenanigans, but like the news, just everything else is just going to be misused. If it hasn't been already. It's just, if we're using that stuff online right now freely, you better believe there's software out there that we don't have access to that's way more advanced. So who knows?
Yeah. But you know who will get away? Music people. Music business is cooked, man. Music industry is cooked. They're done, man. One click, one song, man. That's how it is these days. But yeah, on the legal side, this Johnny Somali dude, it's not looking good for him. Because there's an American lawyer living in Korea, collecting evidence.
Against him.
Yeah. And he's on his ass right now, man. Yeah. And this is,
I think I saw a video with this guy.
It's one of the gaijins who actually been living in Korea understands, you know, those like gaijins who've been living in Japan forever. He understands and knows everything.
Knows more than Japanese people about Japan.
And law too. He's a lawyer too.
Right.
In Korea. So I don't know. That's just not looking good.
When he went to Japan, you know, he started, you know, doing, I mean, arguably silly, just dumb.
Yeah.
But, you know, he'd get on the train, it just annoy people. Mm-hmm. Then he like really ramped it up. He started insulting people.
Yeah.
He started, he'd get on the train and yell Hiroshima, Nagasaki at Japanese people. And then he started saying, you know, Japan should be bombed. Then he was doing this thing where, I guess on Kick and other streaming platforms, you can have people like give you a tip or whatever, and it'll play whatever they want to play. Yeah. They'll put like an MP3 or whatever. Right. So they started playing first like alarm sounds. Then I guess he did the same thing in Korea, and they were playing, you know, like an automated Korean voice saying, "I have a bomb, I have a bomb."
Yeah. No, that's some serious stuff, man.
Yeah. Then he found a Japanese streamer. I think her name was Miyako. And
something like that.
While she was streaming, he like bothered her stream and he was just throwing water at her or something like that. Then he went to Tokyo Disney Resort and made more bomb threats. Like, it's like an asshole. I mean, then he went into this, he was in Osaka and he got into this construction site.
Oh, I think I saw it.
Wearing a mask, and then he was sitting in the truck and whatever. And like, man, you can't get away with that type of stuff in most places. But people are just very chill in Japan. Like they're,
and all the Osa, like Gemba Osang's like, no come, go out, go out, no come. I was like,
yeah, they're just like
just punch him already.
They're just very chill, like non-confrontational. Then I found out about this, which we talked about in a video, I don't know, like a couple months ago, where I just said I didn't want to talk about it. I didn't want to give him any more notoriety, but it was the news, the Japanese news footage of him being arrested, put in the car, and all that. And that was months ago.
Right.
That was like, I don't know, it's like June or something. We're in November, like he just never stopped. He like left Japan and then said, "Hey, let me continue this ridiculousness in Israel."
I mean,
and Korea wasn't to be played with. He went there.
Exactly. That's his pattern. He does. He goes to these countries, then create all these problems, then get caught, get punched, whatever. Then he make this fake apology. Then peace out. Then, he's back at it again. He's like, I got away, Japan.
Right.
I mean, but thing is, she thought Korea's going to be like Japan.
Big mistake.
Big mistake, man. The difference is Koreans don't take these things and just like, gamang, like Japanese people.
Right.
They get busy with it, actually. I mean, I remember when you came to Korea, I think the first thing you told me that was like, dudes actually look and act like dudes here.
Yeah.
And maybe now because of K-pop and K-drama, people think Korean dudes are all pretty and soft. But again, just like anime and manga, like all the kawaii surface level Japan, just like that.
Right.
K-pop, K-dramas, that's just a surface level of Korea.
Right.
Underneath that, there's all just dudes ready to fuck it up.
Just nothing but real mother in Korea, huh?
But the problem is, if you actually go to Korea, men are men there because they all go to military and all that stuff. And even though they look all nerdy and stuff, inside it's just like, okay, cross me. Like I always say, dudes like Johnny Somali act stupid as much as you want, all good. But somewhere out there, somebody's patiently waiting for you to cross the line, and someday you will meet him, right?
Yeah, he did many times.
Yeah, right. But again, I don't think it was that bad. That how he got kicked and punched and all that stuff in Korea. I don't think it was that bad because police stopped him. And these dudes who punched him or kicked him, they're like MMA YouTubers and stuff.
Well, there's also like a soldier. There was a, what was it?
It was an ex-SEAL
Was
dude.
it Dal-Geun?
Yeah.
He was a underwater demolition team.
Yeah.
Soldier.
Ex-Korean SEAL dude. He got him pretty good,
no,
but still at the same time, you know, police were there. So.
Right, of course. Also, I mean, I don't know. I mean, if you look at Johnny Somali, it's, you know, it doesn't look like it's very hard to demolish this dude. I don't think they're going out there to prove that. I think more than anything, they want to just put a little common sense into him.
Yo, man.
And let him know, which he doesn't seem to have. I mean, it doesn't stop. Right now, if you look, there's just photos of him with like bandages over his eyes, all black eye, and it's just like, that's why I don't know what his goal is. What's he trying to accomplish? Because it's very obvious.
Again,
what's going to come from this.
He's really feeling himself right now. It's like, oh, I'm the center of attention. I'm the main dude.
I understand that, dude, but you got, and again, he's also 24, which, dude, age is never an excuse, man. I always think, oh, this person's this old. Then I remember when I was that old, man, I knew better than that at least.
Yeah.
So, like, what's the prospect here? He's like, okay, he knows people, because in Korea, there's like a bounty on his head. Somebody offered, I think they offered like $700.
There were several people,
right.
Several bounties, multiple. But the thing is, some $700, some $1,000, some $2,000, something like that.
Right.
I don't know. It might be like, oh, that's it. But this is Asia, man. It's not like you're gonna go shoot the dude, right?
No, dude.
Just teach him a life lesson, right?
It's just there's plenty of people who want to do it for free in Korea. From what I gather. So the $700 is like a little. It's a nice little perk.
Nice, like kozukai, right? But yeah, believe me, there are motherfuckers in Asia like would do way more than that ex-SEAL dude for way less.
Yeah,
even for free, like you mentioned.
Yeah. Well, there's videos of people. Again, this thing about people just self-incriminating. Just say, "Oh man, I'm looking for him." There's people saying, "Hey, they're showing you where they're driving." Because he'll stream. Again, the streaming thing is all of it is just a bad idea. You're streaming. They got your location. They know what time it is. Because you're doing it live.
Exactly.
What are you doing?
Yo, like here in the States, we have kids getting because of that, right?
Yeah, right.
Straight up.
Yeah.
And again, like Johnny Somali dude, he's like, oh, I'm in Asia, so I'm all safe. And Smoke is still running his mouth like, oh, every time I get punched, I'm making money. I'm getting rich.
Right.
And, yeah, man.
That's a hard living.
Yeah, but I guess like it's one way of saying like I never got into an actual street fight without saying it.
Right.
And dude's just like, keep pushing people's button. I'm like, man, I don't know. But again,
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to.
No, I mean, there's a saying in Korea: punching your face is always closer to you than the law, right?
Right.
It's always funny to me. Meaning, money means nothing when you already got a permanent physical damage.
Right. No, people have been chill. Again, he's been slapped. Yeah. There's all of this footage is online. Him getting clocked, slapped, choked from behind, like pushed.
But then, yeah, man, this kid, like, he's, oh man, yo, I'm okay, I'm still alive. But yo, like, I'm getting all this settlement money now. Like, yo, man, you're not a gunpura. You can't just go buy a new finger or new set of eyes with the settlement money.
Well, he must be assuming people are just going to keep pushing him and slapping him and doing that type of stuff.
Yeah, but then one day he will meet that dude.
Well, he's asking for it. He's out there. I don't know, man. Maybe he just hates his life, dude. That's probably the most likely thing. He hates his life.
This is how I'm going to reset my life.
Nah, he's like, I'm going out getting known for it at least. Maybe. Like, how's he gonna reset it? He's turning into a pariah? Like, getting banned from every platform? Like, it's not a great way to restart your shit, dude.
I don't know, man.
Remember, going back to when he was in Japan, the guy in Akihabara, I think it was Akihabara. It might not have been.
I know the exact spot, yeah. I know the exact spot.
He was streaming and he was crossing the street. And again, we've mentioned this a couple of times, but people are pretty non-confrontational in Japan. Obviously, not everybody's the same, and you will find some like straight hoodlums in Japan as well, you know? But they're, in my experience at least, they're few and far between. And I mean, the ones I met personally, just talking to them and stuff, like they turn out to not be a bad person anyway. They just, but whatever. This guy just seemed like a native Akihabara otaku type of dude with the backpack on and the striped shirt. Yeah, he probably had glasses. Yeah. And like he just ran up to him and clocked him and then just ran away. But that's one of the first people I saw.
Right.
You know.
I mean, he got slapped in Ueno and stuff too. Just random dude from behind, just like slap him.
Right.
And the dude's like, oh, yo. Every time he get punched or slapped, he's like, yo. Like it's some kind of shield like that.
Right.
No, in Japan it's not yo, it's hyo, son.
It's hyo, yeah. You got to add that H in there. But man, I don't know. I guess he just hates life because why would you do any of this?
Man.
Also, here's the other thing, right? Like the whole streaming thing is pretty interesting to me. But these people that watch him, he does, again, maybe I'm giving him too much credit. I mean, this person has to be smart enough to know these simple things. The people that are watching him, a large number of them hate him. Yeah. And they want him to get, and they all want him to get in trouble.
Yeah.
That's the thing. So
100%. Yeah.
I don't know how much he makes off of that platform. I don't know if that's worth attracting that type of energy and making that your whole thing to be like this character that gets beat up and does dumb shit and gets arrested. You know, some people they're just like, hey man, I'm getting the attention. I'm just going to do this. So it doesn't seem like he has a really solid plan.
No.
And these people that like, you know, they give him the tips so they can play like hateful, you know, like in South Korea, people were tipping him to play North Korean propaganda music and things like that, which is another thing he can get in trouble for.
Yeah, that's straight up illegal.
Yeah. So what I mean by that is the person doing this likely knows it.
Yeah.
They're just like, let's mess this dude up.
Yeah.
And what did he get? $5? $3?
I don't know.
You know what I mean?
Something
so it's like yeah. So I don't know, man.
I'm talking about like these things he's doing. Like, I have a bomb on a train. Yo, that's. I mean, even the statue. I get it. It's still a statue, but the thing
we should explain what that is.
The statue of a comfort woman back in the war.
Right. So there's a statue in South Korea.
Yeah.
That is. It was like. Is that a specific historical person or just a person like a figure to?
It's just a figure to represent.
Okay. So. To represent and. Let's see. Those comfort women were sex slaves for the Japanese soldiers in World War II.
Yeah.
So there's like a monument, like a statue.
It's kind of everywhere around.
Oh, okay.
Around Korea, and I think there's one in San Francisco, something like that. I mean, kind of around the world.
So this is to commemorate those girls.
Yeah.
And so he was doing lap dancing and pouring oil on them and kissing them and doing all sorts of weird stuff, putting hats on them and just general disrespectful behavior.
But all that just to be disrespectful to people. I mean, that's his thing, right? He always pick the things to piss off people. Like, go to Japan is Hiroshima,
right?
Saying racist things. Go to Korea, those things. Comfort woman, and on the subway,
North Korea stuff.
North Korea. Doing stuff in the subway. Thing is, like the subway thing. Remember Aum Shinrikyo?
No,
the cult. cult back in the day in Japan. This it was a cult, Aum Shinrikyo, and
What'd they do?
They set a gas. This was back in 95 or something.
Okay, that's why there's no trash cans
96.
anywhere in Tokyo.
Right. Or even the what do you call this? The lockers. For a long time they took them out.
So this was a cult that did that.
Yeah.
They put a bomb in the subway in the garbage
gas bomb.
bin.
And it was on multiple trains too. And it ended up killing 14 people, something like that. And I think over 6,000 people got hurt or injured because of that accident. But the thing is, in Korea, this was, I think, about 20 years ago, a little more than 20 years ago, I think, like 2002, 3 or something like that. A crazy old man started a fire inside of the train.
Damn.
Yeah. And straight up arson. He wanted to die, but, ended up like killing almost 200 people.
Oh, what?
Yeah. In Korea.
Man.
So like these.
He set the car. The car he was riding on. He set that on fire. And
the conductor, I think he got a call from the kichi, the operation room. It's like, just shut the car down, shut the whole train down, and leave. And all the people got trapped inside.
Oh man, that's horrible.
Yeah, it was a really fucking back then. So
damn, yeah. What you said it was 2003,
2002,
early 2000s.
Yeah,
right.
Early 2000s. I was in Japan at the time. And yo, man, people when it comes to like the subway thing, it's not a good idea. Be like, I have a bomb on the subway.
Nah, I don't.
I catch you. Yeah, man, I don't know how it's gonna end up. Again, some say gonna get 10 years, some say 16, some say 29, but who knows?
Right. What I'm hearing though is like Korea is like up there that has to make the statement now. They're saying, if they're easy on them, then they're just sending out a message that you can just go do whatever the hell you want when you go there. I mean, I think all his shenanigans have improved relations between Japan and Korea, dude. Japan's like,
when he got punched and kicked and jumped, all these Japanese news channels covered his stuff. Remember Johnny Somali? He was doing all back in Tokyo and Osaka. Finally, he got justice in Korea.
Right.
And what's even funnier was the comment section. So, 韓国人ファイトよくやりましたありがとう
Yeah, dude, he just
you know what's the funniest one? There was a Japanese flag and Korean flag emoji, and in between there was like a handshake.
Yeah, man, he just like, years of beef, like he just cleared it by being an idiot, dude.
I mean, again, something like that happens, then there are like millions of other conspiracy theories and all that stuff these days. But one thing he cleared was like the bad blood between Korea and Japan.
Yeah. Man, I wanted to ask you, since you've watched some of the Korean coverage, news coverage, right? Because all the stuff that I've seen is mostly, if not all of it, is just like either streamers, YouTubers, or just English speakers, some Japanese stuff. But like in Korea, is this in the news, like the general news?
Yeah.
Has it reached that?
Yeah.
It is?
Yeah.
Is it on TV and stuff? Because of Japan?
Because of Japan and because of the statue. The name of the statue is Heiwa no Shoujo.
Right.
So it really means something to Koreans. So again, man, it's just a statue. But again, it's all the meanings that
for something,
attached.
right? Of course.
Like he is attacking it, right? So as soon as he did the statue thing, it was on the national news. And again, like this dude was like, I'm on the national news.
Again, like what's your plan, Johnny?
Again,
what are you doing?
Probably the
dude?
same mindset of people who goes on Murray or Jerry Springer show type stuff. It's like,
Right.
oh, like you want to be embarrassed on national TV? Is that your goal?
Right.
But I mean, this is the internet, Jidai. So he's like, oh, I'm famous now. Ah, you good. Nah, I don't know. Like, I don't even know if he will go to prison because, again, every time these things happen, it's always, you know, now the power between the countries, right? That comes into play. So it's not like, you know, we care about Johnny Somali, but, you know, it's going to be politics.
So you mean you're talking about like, because he kept, whenever he would get arrested or whatever, there's footage of it. He's always like, I'm an American, I'm an American, I'm an American.
Like that's some kind
of. It's like, dude.
Nah, man.
So you're saying that's like that goes into play, like diplomacy between Korea and the U.S. or Japan and the U.S. when.
Yeah, because I think when it comes to Korea and Japan, a little bit of a hot take, but you know that's the reality. They're always like, America, like the big brother, Oni-san. We better not piss him off. So when things like this happen, it's always like, oh, okay, you imprisoned our citizen.
Right.
It's not like we care about Johnny Somali, right?
No,
but they will use that
not,
for, you know, whatever, right? Okay, now you imprisoned one of our citizens. Now you have to, I don't know, pay this much more for this, whatever it is.
Right, like some kind of tariff or something.
Yeah, you have to now import our rice. I'm like, yo, we're in Asia. Like, we have enough rice.
yeah, you don't need to import American rice.
Yeah.
That's weird because, you know, it's clearly, but I mean, that's politics, right? It's just bullshit.
Yeah.
You know, it's very clear that this person is not someone anybody appreciates or cares about on either side of the.
But again, it's just a pawn, the chessboard, right?
Yeah.
Japan's like that too. But when it comes to like Americans, I'm pretty sure that's why he got out of jail mad quick.
Yeah. It could be. Yeah.
But this time, I don't know. I think 29 years is too much. It's not like I'm down with the motherfucker anyways, but still, you know, 29 years for doing that, I don't know. But what do you think? How many years is okay? Or he will learn his lesson?
I mean, I don't know. That AI law that is up to 7 years is crazy. The other thing is, again, not to get super political, but like these laws are enacted very differently depending on who's on the receiving end.
Oh,
you know, like if it's just some regular Joe Schmo, like, oh, yeah, we have to make an example of this person. The law is the law.
Yeah.
Then you have somebody else who has some kind of, you know, either they're celebrities or a politician or whatever. All of a sudden, nothing, not even a year. So,
just like, beat the case.
Right. Yeah. So, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think, you know, like Japan, his penalty was 200,000 yen and like leaving on his own accord. You know, that was like a slap on the wrist. What was that like $1,400?
Nothing.
So, yeah. But
in Korea, I'd say maybe 3 to 4 years. Should be okay.
Well, it doesn't seem like, you know, paying a fine and not being allowed to come back into the country. That's what happened to him in Israel. Well, he was banned for like 80 days or something like that. What was it? 50 day. He had a 50-day ban from Jerusalem.
That's it.
Somebody beat him also. And
yeah.
Dude, he was doing some really dumb stuff. He was putting up images of Harvey Weinstein, Jeffrey Epstein, and Aiden Ross for some reason. Aiden Ross is a streamer.
Yeah.
But I guess they're all Jewish. And he put them up there and he's like, these are my favorite Jews. Let's go Epstein. Let's go Weinstein. He's just asking for it.
Yeah.
But as long as he just gets asked to leave, it doesn't seem like he would stop doing this at all. So, I mean, I think maybe 3 years would probably make him rethink things. Also, side note, dude, Westerners in Asian jail. I know about Westerners in Japanese jail. Yo,
Yeah.
it's different. And if you're a Westerner I know there's Western Asian people that went into jail and they find out you're not Japanese. That happened to, what's his name? This artist, is it David Cho? Man.
David Cho. Yeah.
Is that his name? All right. Yeah. Like his graffiti, fine art,
Yeah, he kind of looks like me, actually.
David Cho?
Yeah. I saw the most
Koreans.
like he looks like me.
So like he ended up in jail in Tokyo.
Right.
And he said he very quickly he learned that if he drew people flattering images of people, they'd stop beating his ass. He said he became friends with people in jail by drawing, is, I mean,
that's the thing.
Yeah.
I mean, like I always say, Korea on the surface, it looks like modern Japan, modern China, but the ghetto part, it looks like ghetto China and ghetto Japan mixed together.
right.
So, I mean, tell you one thing, like, could be a year, 2 years, or 3 years, whatever.
Right.
I can guarantee he'll have a good time inside. Great time,
Yeah.
son.
I sense a little bit of sarcasm, dude.
One good thing for him will be by the time he gets out of jail, he'll be fluent in Korean. I can tell you
dude.
that much. Best way to learn a language, go to jail.
He'll know the phrase "please don't, daddy." He'll learn that one pretty quickly, dude.
First
Like-
week, first day probably.
Going a little further on this Westerners in Asian jail topic. When I was before I moved to Osaka, the last couple months when I was in Tokyo, which after I finished serializing Peoplechu, I met more expats in Tokyo.
Right.
And they would tell me stuff, and they had like a email chain of like news for the gaijin, and it was
they all have these little circles there.
right, which I had no idea. And so like I'm reading it, and it was like, this is the month of, whatever. It's a month when like the authorities do their best
Right.
to mistreat Westerners and try to get them out,
Right.
and like know your rights and all this stuff. And I'm reading that, and again, I was just like, well, I mean, that wasn't my experience, but through that letter, they kept sending emails about stuff. And then there was one guy who was a YouTuber who had been in jail in Japan a couple different times. He'd been arrested for protesting in Tokyo. And I don't know what he was protesting. I don't know. My experience living in Japan was just, okay, I'm not Japanese, so
Right.
it's just do what everyone else does. And if you don't like it, then just don't be here, is the way I saw it. It wasn't like, I'm American, I have my American rights. Like, that's just crazy to be that way in another country. That's just, it shows, it's stupidity. But this guy was given some accounts about being, about on his time being in jail in Japan. And yo, man, like, they just tortured him.
Yeah.
I think this is probably a good topic. Like, I'll research more of this stuff. We can talk about it and make a proper video about it. But the cliff notes of what he was talking about is basically he went there, got arrested for protesting or something like that. And he's a very loud, vocal guy. And they put him in jail, and immediately, like, they were like beating on him just because he wasn't Asian. And then it's like they saw him and they're like, this guy.
That poster of that movie, nobody just punches coming from it.
It sounded like that. And then he said they put him in solitary confinement after his ass beating. He also said there's no talking in Japanese jail at all.
No.
Now,
No.
Most American jails, I mean, as far as I know, prison, you can talk and you can communicate with people and all this other stuff. And the only time you can't is when you're put in solitary confinement, right? But it sounded like Japanese jail is just like solitary confinement. Nobody can talk to anybody. You'll get reprimanded for speaking.
Yeah.
For a Japanese person, I'll tell you right now, not speaking to anybody is way easier than your average American or Westerner.
Right.
Because people are kind of used to, you know, being quiet and kind of speaking when it's their turn and whatever. And also for convenience, because they're like, I don't want to mess with all this keigo, joge, kanke, none of this. I'm just not going to talk. So he learned quickly that he couldn't speak because beatdowns. And then they put him in solitary confinement, and he said they would wet down the floor and not give him any sheets or anything and force him to sleep naked on a cold stone floor. And then he would catch the flu. And then they would give him, I guess they do this in Japan. They do like, it's like an injection or an IV of vitamins, I guess. Like when people get sick, they don't, it's not a flu shot. It's none of that. It's just people are under the weather, but they're like, I got to go to work. They'll get a vitamin.
Yo, they even get a garlic shot.
What's that?
Garlic shot.
I heard of that too. Yeah.
My friend used to
vitamin
get
C.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
What up, Masa? With your garlic shots.
So I guess they gave him something to make him better, and then they just kept doing it to him.
Yeah. I mean, that's...
And I mean, you know, I don't know. I mean, I think you want to stay out of the prison system because your rights are, you know.
Still, they say Japanese prison is still okay compared to Chinese and Korean or Vietnam or Thai prison.
Yeah.
Imagine going to Thai prison. You walk in, everybody looks like Sagat or...
Everybody's a kickboxer.
Yeah, who's that dude? What's his name? Sagat.
The other?
Yeah, the other
Adon.
one. Adon. Just punching bag style.
Right.
But yeah, man, I have people that I know went to juvenile and regular prison. But yeah, heard all these stories. Like, I mean, getting beat
in
down.
Korea?
In Korea, Japan, here, China. Why do
Just
I know
the
these
prison
people?
crew, dude.
But yeah, I mean, something similar to that. But getting beat up is the least of your worries. Like Ijime.
Well, is it just getting is the heaviest?
And again, man, you can't buy a new finger or a new set of eyes with settlement money, right?
Right. Damn,
slice
dude.
off their ears and stuff, so like that.
Right.
I mean, and
do you think? I'm sorry.
No,
what you saying?
No, go.
Do you think? I guess like diplomatic matters will keep you from being in jail, or it's just like, hey man, these inmates are just kind of wilding. You know, they just kind of killed this dude
all the time. Oh, there was an accident.
Yeah, dude.
He got stabbed 37 times just in the neck. What an accident. My condolences.
Oh man.
Yeah, man. I mean, these things that happens like once in a while, like these crazy gaijins coming to Japan and causing these problems, really makes a huge impact on gaijins who's already living in Japan, right?
Of course.
And it's strictly based on race too. And if you're, let's say, like Asian American like me, then it's about nationality. For example, I mean, when I was there, it's a kind of annual thing for North Korea to shoot missiles towards Japan.
Okay.
Or over Japan sometimes. Right. And it's always on the news. North Korea. They shot
I remember.
And then, you know, all the people like, oh my God, these Koreans. I'm like, yo, man, like North Korea and South Korea, different country.
Nah. These Koreans, man.
Yeah,
That's it.
These Koreans. And some of my friends, they would ask me, like, I know you're American, but you know the Korean culture. What do you think about North Koreans shooting missiles like towards Japan or over Japan?
This is Japanese people asking you?
Domo. I'm like, motherfucker, I don't know. I'm not from North Korea. My grandma and grandpa family from North Korea. My whole family's from North Korea, but I don't consider myself a North Korean because I never lived there. A lot of North Koreans in South Korea who hates North Korea, but you know, people still. I think now, I think still Japanese people could, because a lot of Zainichi Koreans in Japan, they still keep North Korean kokuseki citizenship.
Oh, really?
So sometimes like they get confused. Okay, you can go North Korea, so you can choose. I'm like, you cannot choose, man. That kind of reminds me of these Korean dudes who will come to Japan just to meet Japanese girls. They're like Japanese girl hunters. Or then, I mean, these days I think it's more and more because of K-pop and K-drama. If you go to Shin-Okubo, say there's like Korean hunters and Japanese girl hunters. So Korean dudes who come from Korea to meet Japanese girls, and then Japanese girls will go to Shin-Okubo to meet Korean dudes. So
match made in heaven, dude.
Exactly.
And so, do these girls that like K-pop in Japan, do they learn Korean?
These days, because young girls, yeah.
Right.
There are a lot of girls who are YouTubers, Japanese girls. Their YouTube is for a Korean audience.
And they're Japanese.
But they're Japanese. They're like,
okay.
I'm studying Korean these days, so I'm starting this channel, and next thing you know, 10,000 followers, 10,000 subs, all Korean dudes like, let me teach you, let me.
Right.
But I mean, the thing is, I mean, I'm all for it. Okay, good. Do what you want. Do what y'all want to do. Fine with me. But then you have these like skoy ass, like super shitsure Korean dudes who just like come to Japan and just like, 오네상 sake nomu type dudes. And all these fucking Japanese dudes are getting mad annoyed by them these days.
Right.
So again,
how about the girls? Are the girls annoyed by it?
Yeah, that too. I mean, if they're not into Korean dudes or just busy going somewhere, and you have these like skoy ass Korean dudes coming.
But they just going randomly to any spot in Japan, and
I mean, Osaka was like that too.
What's the strategy, dude?
Dotonbori was like that too. And these motherfuckers inside the head, they think, 最近日本でコリアンの男がモテるって。
Yo, come on, man. What's a simple thinking, man? What is that?
That's the mindset. So they will just fly to Japan, because right next to Korea, right? They will just fly to Osaka. Osaka Dotonbori was famous for that.
Right.
They call it sake nomu ga Kankokujin.
Right. Well, dude, Osaka has a lot of like Korean markets and stuff.
Yeah. But even like those people, like Zainichi or Koreans living in Japan, hate them, man.
You get
now again, you make enough for all of us now.
Right.
Type stuff, because they always go up to girls and sake nomu, one-san sake nomu ka, and the girls like, yada, koitsura kimochiwarei, ya kimo.
And these guys are, I mean, I guess people just do whatever without a real plan. I mean, they're just like, hey, let's see what happens. Do these Korean guys who go to Japan, go to Dotonbori, do they speak Japanese, or they just know osake nomu?
Osake nomu, one-san osake nomu ka type. But again, man, once you live in Japan long enough, like Chase Senpai said, I always had this thing about turning into Japanese or me becoming a Japanese thing. I was always like, I don't need to be a Japanese person. But I guess when it comes to manner, etiquette, I think I did turn into a Japanese person while I was in Japan. Because, I mean, small things like if you go to kaiten sushi, once you pick a dish, you eat it, right? You don't put it back.
That's common sense, dude.
Nah, but then you have these Chinese people or Koreans. I mean, because they didn't know, they're like, machigaeta, and they put it back. And I'll be sitting right next to them, and I'm just like turning into that old Japanese dude.
Right. Yeah. Well, you know what happens when there's certain things that you're expected to do, everyone's expected to do, and maybe not everyone wants to, but it's the consensus that this is what we do, and then someone does it. Yeah. Then everyone else gets mad pissy about it. They're like, yo, like, that's why, that's one of the things that made me kind of reach a Genkai.
Right.
Where I was like, okay, it's just because I understood that, okay, well, this isn't going to change. This is the way things are. So if like there are things that you do not agree with or you don't jive well with, that's not going to change.
Right.
So like when it comes to manners and all those things, definitely it's not negotiable, really.
No.
You can be a foreigner and that'll be an excuse, but it won't be appreciated.
Right.
And if you are a Japanese person that doesn't want to do that, I think your choice is, I mean, you could have a circle of friends that are just like you and you live with your friends who are like-minded and that'll be different, but good luck fighting with the whole country.
The whole society.
Yeah,
culture.
The country.
It's not gonna work. Yeah. Just gonna ready to meet the Nihon wa owateru crew.
Yeah, they'll be there. They'll
featuring
be there every
DJ
time.
Five Dog. Now featuring Felipe Smith.
Yeah.
Yeah, but talking about Shin-Okubo and the train thing. On the flip side, back in 2000, early 2000, 2001 or 2, I think, there was an accident in Shin-Okubo Station. This Korean student, he was a language student going to one of those schools around the area, right? And he saw a drunk oji-san fall into the track. So him and this other Japanese dude, they jump on the track to save the dude, right?
Right.
And they couldn't make it out.
Oh, no.
Yeah. The accident made a like big impact in Japan as a society. It's like, oh my God, because at the time Japan was like, oh, just care about yourself. Again, you know, like how we always say, they see something.
Right.
Other way, right?
Yeah.
And it was a gaijin, a Korean student, saving a Japanese person. Try to save a Japanese person, but they all died.
Risk their own life for it.
Rest in peace. But yeah, that changed like the image of Korean completely from that day. And I think the accident is even on the textbook, like Shogako no Kyokasho.
I see.
And that accident made really pushed the government to put the screen doors on all platforms. I mean, it took mad years after that.
Yeah, because they were putting them in when I was living there.
Yeah, but again, you know, if you still go to Shin-Okubo Station, they still have a memorial.
Oh, okay.
Inside the station,
right?
And a lot of people, I've seen this. I think every year, a lot of people line up to pay respect. And even on a regular day, I've seen people just passing by and just like do the for like a few seconds. Yeah. So I mean, again, one gaijin make an impact.
Oh, for sure.
Whole society.
Just like, Now we got another one, the Johnny Salami over here.
Yeah. Then we have this
just doing the opposite. But man. Well, I mean, I hope he learns his lesson. I mean, I hope he finds a better way to, you know, a better way to get out there and get, you know, do his thing.
Yeah. Still a kid.
He didn't seem to learn any lessons until Korea. We'll see what they, you know, how it pans out. But yeah, that guy needs to change his line of work, dude.
Yeah. By the way he's talking, he's like mad. How kids say, like capping on camera these days. Can tell like
what's
this
he saying?
Dude, he's like, oh, I'm getting out of this country. Yo, I'm beating all these charges and all this. Like, yo, you saying that on camera, it shows you're scared right now. So
I don't know what it shows. I mean, it could show that he's just very stupid.
Nah, he's scared. He's scared right now. So I don't know, but
Yeah, I still, you know, the more I think about it, the more I don't understand. I mean, I think it boils down to this dude just hates his life because he's not scared of getting slapped around and punched by strangers. It's happened over a dozen times at this point. You know, it's even that video of that guy in Tokyo.
The white dude?
Just knocking him out and then knocking his camera out, like his cameraman out. Like, so he's definitely not afraid of being hit. We know that for sure because he keeps doing stuff that gets him exactly that result.
Well, being hit a couple times and being hit a couple times every minute, every day is different. So
yeah, I mean, if he's not gonna have a lot of fun in the pen, dude.
If you get locked up, enjoy your time in Korea, son.
Come out fluent in Korean.
Tell you one thing: Koreans don't forgive. And Koreans don't forget.
Yeah, so I guess wrapping up for Johnny Somali. Yeah, I don't know. I hope he learns his lesson before it costs him dearly. And whatever's making him behave like this.
Yeah.
I hope that. I hope things get better for him, dude, because that's just
that motherfucker is fighting his own demons, man. Fight your own demons at home, man. Don't take it to Japan or Korea or any other countries. I mean, you can take it to North Korea and see how that works out.
Oh man,
I'll tell you one thing: your demon's gonna win, man. If you take it to North Korea.
Yeah, that's a one-way trip, dude.
Yep. Plane ticket mad cheap.
I guess good for Korea to like protect your country from shenanigans, for just endless shenanigans. I mean, I don't know if Korea is like Japan right now, where there just seems to be a lot of streamers and a lot of tourists, like YouTuber,
not like Japan
type
but
people.
Yeah, pretty
right.
Yeah.
And I mean, I think all those people traveling and stuff, that's good for the economy. I mean, we already know like pretty much every country can use a boost in their economy after the last couple of years. But at the same time, you don't want just this type of person coming to your country in droves because,
They will come.
Right. So I guess this guy becomes a cautionary tale to the golden trolls out there, dude. Don't come to South Korea.
Now, Americans or Gaijins go to Korea, they will always visit Johnny Somali Memorial. Or the street he got f***ed up.
Yeah, he just got like a bandage and a black eye and.
Nah, it's a statue of him getting just.
Right.
So, who knows, man?
Yeah. Well, there you go. The tale of Johnny Salami, dude. We'll see what happens. I guess we'll find out pretty soon.
Yep. Alright, man. And see y'all in the comments then. Peace.
Alright, yeah, let us know what you guys think. Peace.